chaos inside. Aren't they fun? I love it. So, how many of you follow my Instagram? A few of you? So, many of you have followed me this summer, and you know that I've been teasing you with a new oil. I dropped some hints, and it turned out that a lot of you are super sleuths, using a variety of methods, including looking up airplane registration numbers. Yes, for real. Many of you deduced where I had been and what our new oil actually was. And many of you had wrong guesses. So do you want me to just tell you what it is already? Meet Guaiacwood. Oh. Now you want to know what Guaiacwood's all about, right? So Guaiacwood is distilled from the heartwood of the Balanesia simultol tree. And it's been used for centuries by Native Americans in wellness practices and ceremonies. If you've ever looked into Guaiacwood, you've probably seen that it's sometimes called Palo Santo. Hang on. I want to clear some things up because this oil is not the Palo Santo you might be familiar with. It's better. Oh yeah. So Guaiacwood grows exclusively in Paraguay, where locals refer to it as Holywood or Palo Santo. But the Guaiacwood tree is a completely different species than the one most commonly known as Palo Santo, which grows in Peru, Venezuela, Ecuador. Palo Santo is a protected species, and most of what is in the marketplace is not ethically sourced, and we will not be a part of that. So bringing Guaiacwood today to you is a project that has been over 5 years in the making. So nothing about this oil is simple, from its chemistry to its aroma. So just getting to the tree is a challenge. You've got to get past the jaguars, the anacondas, the crocodiles, the piranhas first. And you think I'm joking, but I'm not. We saw at least 60 crocodiles that were just feet from us, right? We are so proud to be able to bring this oil to market sustainably. And we are so grateful that our community of wellness advocates and customers care about being good stewards of these beautiful natural resources, just as we do. So here we are in the Chaco Forest in Paraguay. When you think about how large it is, it's 37 million acres. But here is where the Guaiacwood trees grow. And this particular species has 90% sesquiterpene alcohols. We have unique chemistry in this oil that has never been seen in any other essential oil before.
This is a day that we've been waiting for a long time. The beautiful part about it is the intensive work that has been done to ensure that all of the wood that gets harvested to produce the Guaiacwood is sustainably sourced.
I love to see that this is exactly where you began, right?
Yes.
You looked at the people that are on the ground harvesting the trees, right? The stewards of the trees, of the forest.
Absolutely.
You've made sure they have great living quarters, a great quality of life, right? They have a kitchen, they have running water, they have electricity, they have air conditioning.
Yes.
Basically, so we created a true market price. Say, okay, so
For a sustainable
for
product.
some product.
For us, if it was all about price, we would go and get the cheapest price, right?
Absolutely.
But for us, that's not what it's about. These landowners have to make an income off of their property. So most of them are removing the trees to make room for grass to have cattle ranches. But what we have done is, working with our amazing sourcing partners, we now pay a lease on the land so that they have reason to keep the land in its natural state, and we also pay them for each tree that is harvested off of their land.
They're able to provide meaningful long-term income to these landowners to help them preserve the native forest and ensure that it stays in the ground, which is exactly what we all hope can happen.
A management plan means to work with a forest and to be with the forest, to do conservation for the forest, and how you can be productive while maintaining all the biodiversity around.
That's our stock of Guaiacwood that comes from our forest management plans. You can see here that beautiful blue color. Actually, it's full of oil, and you can see the blue is the oxidation of the oil, and you can almost see small crystals of essential oil on top of that.
This is one of the most hard and dense woods in the world, and because of that, it takes a lot of time and process to chip it properly. It then goes through a conveyor system, gets loaded into the distillation units that are about 1,000 kilos in size. The distillation runs for about 17 hours. And the most amazing thing about this oil is that it is actually semi-solid at room temperature.
So this has been 3 years in the making, and we finally get to smell the fresh Guaiacwood. And we smell this wood that's just been chipped. It smells really smoky, but it has a really sweet note to it. It kind of smells like a little bit of a touch of rose, and I am so excited for you to understand the benefits of this amazing oil. So I told you this wasn't a simple oil, right? It takes a long time and a lot of hard work to produce this essential oil sustainably. The guaiac tree can only be found in the Chaco forest, also known as the impenetrable forest, for good reason. This is an extremely unique and harsh ecosystem. There is nowhere else in the world like it, and the biome cannot be replicated. As a result, these plants produce uncommon chemical compounds in order to survive. Guaiacwood is composed primarily of sesquiterpene alcohols. Sesquiterpenes are stabilizing and soothing, and the two sesquiterpenes that make up guaiacwood are rather uncommon: bolmesol and guaiacol. These are not present in very many essential oils. Sesquiterpenes are stabilizing and soothing. Since these are such uncommon constituents, there is a lot of research to do on them. And that's why I'm so excited to learn more. In fact, look at our team of chemists. They're publishing a paper on guaiacwood. How cool is that, right? They are just leading the charge in every single effort. But initial studies and early research on the effects of bolmesol and guaiacol definitely align with the plant's historic uses, particularly meditation, grounding, and calming the mind, right? It smells amazing. Guaiacwood is extremely dense, and the oil that comes out after distillation is really, really thick. So the oil is so thick that it's actually considered a semi-solid at room temperature. Now, that might not sound very interesting to you, but it is extremely rare. Guaiacwood is one of only 2 essential oils that are solid at room temperature. We have 2 chemical constituents, bolmesol and guaiacol, to thank for that. And once it is distilled, it is kept warm so that it can sit. So it can sit for about 1 to 3 months. And this allows the aroma to mature and develop. And it just gets better over time. And all this extra work, effort is worth it. This oil is gorgeous. It is rich and earthy with a grounding woody aroma that has just the hint of sweetness. You do just kind of feel just a little hint of rose. We shared Guaiacwood with one of our perfumers, Eva, and she fell in love.
As a perfumer, I'm very excited about Guaiacwood oil, which is commonly used in the fragrance industry. It's in many of my formulations. Now, our Guaiacwood oil is sourced from the El Chaco part of the Atlantic forest in Paraguay, and our sourcing team has been working very closely with a partner who has set up the first one-of-a-kind ethical sourcing operation for Guaiacwood oil. I fell in love with Guaiacwood at first sniff. It has this incredible smoky, woody, almost barbecue aroma, and it catapulted me back to an experience I had as a teen. I traveled to San Jose, Costa Rica. I was 16, so every time I smell Guaiacwood, it takes me straight back there. Before coming to doTERRA, I was working at a French flavor and fragrance house as one of their perfumers. I was working on synthetic fragrances a lot. I'd mostly done that, but often it seemed like a dream to use really good high-end essential oils. That's what drew me to doTERRA. Here, I can be a completely natural perfumer. What I'm attempting to do is get the accent notes and unexpected accords in our perfumes to be all natural. I believe doTERRA is unprecedented in this. There are the top notes, the middle notes, and the base notes. When creating your own blend, I suggest starting off with what you know and what you have. So, for instance, get all your doTERRA oils out and just start smelling them from the bottle one by one. For those who've amassed a huge collection, you might consider pulling out your favorites or those you just haven't figured out how to use yet and start from there. As you smell each one, ask yourself, what does this remind me of? What feeling or memory does this evoke? Take time with it. What you're doing now is trying to find the right middle note or the core that you will build the entire fragrance around. Once you decide on a middle note, then the rest of it is a lot of trial and error. When you combine them together and refine the fragrance by focusing on the percentages of each oil, are you missing some notes? Add a small amount of a particular essential oil that will give you more of your effect. What's shining through, what isn't? Are you getting closer to composing the aroma from your memory? You'll keep fine-tuning it until it comes together and you'll achieve your desired outcome. Hopefully something in what I shared sparked an idea that excites your inner creativity and offers you a new approach for experimenting with your favorite oils and recreating memories.
Guaiacwood is truly a special oil. When we went to Paraguay, we brought a dear friend, an essential oil enthusiast, along to experience Guaiacwood firsthand. I want to bring him out, tell you all about it. You might know him as one of the intuitive masters of essential oil application. He is one of the original U.S. founders and one of the most inspirational humans I know. Please welcome on stage, Boyd Truman.
Hi, the first thing I'd like to talk about today is the way Guaiacwood grows. We can learn so much about an oil looking at the conditions it comes from. As you've already learned from that Guaiacwood comes from a harsh, dense forest. It grows at sea level where the ocean once was, so the soil is uniquely salty. The unusual salty soil and climate condition have created a unique biodiversity with some native plants that don't exist endemically anywhere else in the world. So Guaiacwood is one of these examples. Guaiacwood trees grow in clusters, and the wood density of the tree is among the most dense in the world. The wood is so dense, in fact, that it sinks in water, and one log can burn all through the night. The wood sinks in water, and one log can burn all night long. It's incredible. These are not only the only unique features of guaiacwood. Due to the high oil content and initial oxidation, when cut, the wood turns a deep, rich hue of blue for a time before fading. Turning now to the essential oil that guaiacwood provides, it has a woody, deep, and earthy aroma, which creates a calm, grounding atmosphere. Just like the tree is rooted in its soil, the scent of guaiacwood is rooted and can provide a solid base note in aromatic blends. As you've seen down the information page, guaiacwood is similar to other sesquiterpene oils, which can have a very grounding and stabilizing aroma, along with being beneficial and supportive to our integumentary system, our skin, when used topically.
So, guaiacwood has a really special place in my heart, and I think it does in yours too, Boyd. I think we're in Paraguay, and there was just kind of a magic, wasn't there?
Certainly was.
I want you to share what you felt while you were there.
Well, I know you guys filmed me that one time, and it's not hard for me like you to shed a tear.
Right.
Especially when you feel so grateful for Mother Nature and what she provides. But again, being a unique place in the world, in growing in unique circumstances, and of course, in my heart of hearts, being able to be there with the harvesters and the distillers, and be able to hug on them and to love on them and to give them thanks and gratitude, that's of utmost importance to me.
Yeah. So when we had this trip scheduled, I immediately thought of Boyd. He's always saying, Emily, it fills my cup to go on these trips and see where the oil is sourced, but it's also to see and meet the people who are sourcing this oil. And as we sat and talked, okay, Boyd, how are you going to use this oil? And what did you say?
Oh, in multiple different ways.
Right?
I mean,
right?
Just wait and learn.
Exactly. Yes. So, as you know, if you've ever taken a training from Boyd, he is the master at understanding how the oils work in the body. He's amazing. So I am so excited for you to experience this truly unique and beautiful oil. It's basically liquid gold, isn't it, Boyd?
For sure.
Yeah?
It really is.
And speaking of gold, we may want to look up.
Wait for it.
They coming down? There we go.
Here they go.
Here they come. There are 550 golden tickets. Woo!
Yay!
They're still coming down. Hey, come on. So everyone who got a golden ticket can go and exchange it for a bottle of Guaiacwood in the doTERRA marketplace. Woo! Thanks so much, Boyd. Thank you. Love you. So you ready for our next oil?